Hey everyone, it's Rachel here. Thank you guys so much for watching. So this is my bestie Libby, and we wanted to share with you guys our real life ghost story just to spook things up and get into the Halloween spirit.
But just as a preface, we have known each other for 15 years.
Yeah.
So this is 15 years ago, our ghost story.
Yeah.
Right?
So how old were we?
You were probably like 15 and I was like 16.
Yeah.
Or 16 and 17 maybe.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. So let's get right into it.
Okay, but who should go first?
You can go first.
Yeah, I think I should go first because I'm the one that saw it first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this is just kind of we haven't really talked about this in a long time. So we are telling our sides of the story for the first time in a long time and kind of seeing if they still match up. Okay, so we were at Rachel's house one night. Me and my sister would spend the night at her house frequently. This night I was there by myself, and it was just me and Rachel, and she had just gotten off the computer and she was like, hey, I'm gonna go upstairs. And I was like, all right, well, I want to get on the computer.
Yeah.
At your house.
Yeah, it's like my parents were, I don't know where my parents were, but like
they were upstairs, or maybe they were out of the house.
Yeah, but I was just
But that
chilling.
was the thing. At Rachel's house, she always had people at her house. Like it would be her parents or her brother or whoever. So anyways, it wasn't unusual to see like people in her house. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, all right, I'm going to go upstairs. She goes upstairs. Sorry, that's my bird. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to stay here on the computer. Well, her desktop computer.
That's Butters. That's her bird Butters. He's really cute. That's him making the noise.
Sorry, guys. So her desktop computer was downstairs. I guess you had like a living room and a den, right? Mm-hmm. Like a more formal living room. And the computer was in that room. And it was always pretty dark over there, I would say.
Yeah, there's not that much natural lighting. But it was not nighttime anyways.
So the living room was here, and then the computer was over here. And it was kind of tucked off away from like the main living space where their kitchen and living room was. And I remember it was really dark down there. And you had gone up to your room, and I was sitting on the computer, and then I decided to like log off. And I look over to where the couch was, and I remembered seeing a man there, and an old Asian man.
I didn't know that detail until recently. All I knew was you said old man before, but I didn't know he was Asian until like a few years ago when we brought this up again. And I was like, oh, that scares me. Like, I don't know why.
I thought I had mentioned it because Rachel's obviously Asian. I was like, yeah, I saw this old man downstairs. And I kind of said it like really casually to you, right?
Yeah. So she comes upstairs and she comes into my room, and she this is how I remember it. So she opens my door and she walks in the room and she goes, Rach, I just saw a man in your living room. You said it like...
I said it casually, but like I was suspicious about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Did he look... Okay, so can I ask you this? I've never asked you this. So did he look like real time? Like
yes.
Yeah.
That was the thing. That's why... Because I believe in ghosts. And I believe that I've seen like spirits and demons in my lifetime. And
I didn't know you've seen demons.
I saw a red-eyed.
Oh,
hooded
oh my God!
demon.
Whenever you were the sleep paralysis.
Yes.
Okay, that's another story. Maybe we'll get to it.
Story for another time.
Yeah.
The thing was, I saw an old Asian man in a white shirt and blue jeans. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't scary. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I feel like I saw people in your house frequently.
Yeah, like family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was strange, but I also thought oh, this could be normal. So yes, I went upstairs and I told you, hey, I like saw a man downstairs.
And I'm like, I'm like, what? Like, no one's here. Like, no one's here. Because literally, like, I grew up in the house. Like, nothing had literally ever happened before. I'd never gotten any weird vibes, but I didn't not believe her. You know, I was just like, okay, like, I don't know what to do about that, right? So, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine. So, I saw this man, and I told it to Rachel, and then I don't know what we did about it, but later...
We pretty much, like, just...
we kind of just let it go.
Yeah, we just brushed it off. Like, yeah, and we were teenagers.
We were teenagers and we were ready to party.
Yeah.
So we actually snuck out that night.
Yeah, so we just brushed it off and we were like, we called our friends to pick us up.
Yeah, so we called our friends. This one guy had like a 2-door white car and he came to pick us up, and in the car was my other best friend, Caitlin. Mm-hmm. And Caitlin ended up coming back home with us that night, right?
Yeah, so it's like we go out, we're not supposed to be going out, but
we snuck out.
We snuck out and we partied or whatever, and we come back home, and this time, like, Caitlin comes back with us. Like, she wants to stay the night with us.
Yes, and what had happened, like, me seeing this person was never brought up to anyone. And so we go back to Rachel's house. We sneak back into Rachel's house with Caitlin this time. And we're downstairs this time in the kitchen and, like, lived-in living area. And
I went upstairs to change, and you guys went to get food in the kitchen.
Okay. You weren't down there?
Well, no, because remember... So I'll tell this part.
Okay.
So we sneak back in, mm-hmm. and I go upstairs to change because I just want to be comfortable. And then Olivia and Kate, they go to the kitchen because they're hungry, and, like, they're just hungry. Mm-hmm. So, and then I come downstairs. They're both at the fridge. Like, they're both, the fridge is open, and they're both, like, looking for food at the fridge. I come up, I start walking up to the kitchen, and I can see them at the fridge. And they close the fridge door, and then they start turning around. Then they both jump at the same time, like, turning towards me and looking at me. And they're like, and I'm like, what? Like, what is it? Like, and they literally, we didn't tell Kate about this. They both said that they saw a man. Did you see him walk behind me? Like, past me?
No, so I remember it a little bit differently. I do remember being in the kitchen and looking for food. That is a fact. But just Caitlin looked and got startled. I didn't.
Oh, I thought, for some reason, I thought y'all, like, turned at the same time and you were like...
No.
Okay.
She got startled, and we both were like, what?
Yeah.
And she's like, I just saw a man walk past your kitchen door. And I was like, what was he wearing?
Like, behind me or something.
Yeah.
Like past me, behind me, as I was coming up.
And I was like, well, what was he wearing? Because I remembered the details, a white shirt and blue jeans. And he looked like a regular guy. And she said, a guy, like, in a white t-shirt and blue jeans. Mm-hmm. And I was like, did he look like an older, like, Asian man? And she's like, yeah. And that's how I remember it.
Yeah, so
So we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was frozen. I was literally, like, frozen. And they were both, like, just standing there like this. That's how I remember it. And then I remember, like, you guys, like, we all started, so y'all, like, came up, you know, past the double doors to the kitchen, like, mm-hmm. to where I was. Mm-hmm. And we were all holding hands, mm-hmm. like, probably in, like, a line, because we were so scared. And then Liv, you were like, you were like, I was holding your hand, and you were like, you started crying, and you were like, I feel this gravitational pull. Like,
what? I don't remember that.
Yeah, you were like,
I probably blocked it out.
You were like, I feel this gravitational pull on my hands, and I was holding your hand that you were feeling it on, and I was like, oh, I feel it too. Like, it felt like someone was like pulling our hands.
What? Okay, this is great. I do not remember that.
I
probably blocked it out because I was probably really scared.
Yeah.
But what was so crazy was we had made no mention of this to our friend. And then out of nowhere, our friend had her own experience and like vision of this same person that I thought that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember that though. I cried. I'm very sensitive. I mean, I get very scared.
Well, I think anyone would cry. Like any 15-year-old girl would cry.
Right. So we were like, what the fuck? Like, is there someone in this house? Like, the only thing we could think of was...
Well, yeah. So
this might be a spirit.
Yeah, and so the thing was, for some reason, I remember... So I had been playing Ouija board. Don't ever play Ouija board. Don't ever play Ouija board. Because what it does... Was I playing it with you or someone else?
No.
Okay.
So that was it. So I knew better. Because I had seen the movies. I knew better than to play with the Ouija board. So, okay. So...
But I had with other friends who had been coming over.
Right.
So what it does is it basically, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, like you're basically inviting in... It's like a portal almost, and you're inviting in these lower... Whoever. That's the thing. You're inviting in
You don't
whoever.
know who you're inviting in.
Mm-hmm. So that's where it's not safe, because if you're inviting in whoever, anyone will come. And so...
I definitely remember seeing this spirit and not being as afraid as I thought I would be. I was definitely scared, but I didn't feel any type of like intimidation factor or like evilness. I probably felt that pull, but that was more than I was comfortable with. And so when Rachel got the idea to play with the Ouija board,
we did we did it after too.
Yes.
Oh,
we did it right after.
I didn't know that.
Y'all did it right after.
Oh my god.
Do you remember this part? So this is okay.
Okay, so we don't even know if this was like the same dude. So I guess
that's what I'm saying. So
the story's not even like close to over, but
so when I saw this person downstairs, remember I was able to brush it off. I'm a very sensitive person to this kind of stuff. So I feel like if I had felt scared or intimidated, like I would not have gone out and forgot about it so quickly. And then when my friend saw the same whatever, that kind of brought a little bit more attention to it to me. I don't remember feeling scared about it in that moment.
It probably, like, this didn't even click to me until just now. It probably wasn't him that was messing. So we'll get into that in a second. So like you said, it probably wasn't him. I didn't even know that until
just now. Ooh, I have chills.
Yeah.
So
if you didn't get that automatic, like, ooh, like I'm getting a bad vibe from him the first time you saw him, he likely wasn't like.
Well, yeah, because don't you think that I would have reacted that way?
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely that kind of person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very dramatic. Like,
that's your clairsentience. But
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
But I feel like I definitely would have had a bigger reaction to it.
Yeah.
The second time, I didn't even know that I cried or held your hands. Are you sure that was me and not Caitlin?
That was you.
It was? Okay, interesting. Maybe I blocked it out because I was uncomfortable.
Because you go, Rach. I just remember hearing your voice. You were like, I looked at you. You were close. Like, our hands were like this. And I was on this side and she was here. And like our hands were like this, and you were closing your eyes, and I saw like tears streaming down, and then you go, Rach.
Because I was uncomfortable. At that point I was uncomfortable because I was like, okay, something's going on, and I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it. And so anyways, so this is where it gets juicy. Our friend had just seen the same whatever that we that I had seen. Rachel, you had not seen it at this point, right?
No.
You never saw it.
Mm-mm.
But Rachel gets the idea to pull out the Ouija board.
And I have been, like I said, I'd been playing it before too with friends that have been coming over. So.
She had been playing it, and as soon as you brought it up, I was like, no, like, I don't want any part of that. Like, I'm going to bed. Mm-hmm. And you had a trundle bed. So she had like her bed had another bed that like could slide from out under it. And so I always liked to sleep on the trundle bed. And then you would sleep on your bed. Mm-hmm. And then that night, Caitlin slept with you up on your bed. Mm-hmm. And I was down on the trundle bed by myself. So I remember
what do you call it?
It's a trundle bed.
Trundle bed. Never heard that.
It's a bed that pulls out from under your bed. Like mattress and everything.
Yeah.
So we're in your room. We go up to your room. We leave the kitchen. We go up to your room. And you pull out the Ouija board. And I'm like, I don't want any part of this mess. I'm going to bed. So I pull out the bed. And I close my eyes and I fall asleep. And whatever happens after that, I don't know. I assume they played with the Ouija board. But I wake up. I don't know if it's hours later, 1 hour later. I wake up to Rachel and Caitlin screaming. And I knew it was them because Rachel didn't have a TV in her room. So, like, there was no, like, noise that could have come from anywhere. And the only TV was downstairs, right? Mm-hmm. And so they were just, like, screaming, freaking out. And I, like, opened my eyes. I'm like, what is going on? And do you remember?
Yeah. So, basically, so I didn't see anything.
Tell about the Ouija part. Like, do you remember doing Ouija with Caitlin or
no? So, like, every time, I don't remember, like, that specific time. Mm-hmm. Like, for some reason, I just thought I'd been doing it before, and maybe that invited them in. I remember that it would always just go, like, a lot of the things didn't make sense, but it would move. Mm-hmm. And it would just go to, like, random, it would go to, like, really negative words, like, or just, like, random things that didn't make sense, like A, Z, like, just random, but it would move. So basically, Kate and I couldn't sleep. Like I said, like, I didn't see anything, but I felt him. Or, yeah, it's a him. And it's so crazy because it just clicked to me now that wasn't him, mm-hmm. the Asian man. But basically, we had felt a spirit touching us and, like, our woman parts. It was, yeah. So
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, he was touching us on our, like, my chest. Yeah.
I did not know that. I have chills right now.
Yeah, and he was tickling our feet.
I remember that. That's the only part I remember. Y'all saying that he was touching your feet.
Yeah,
or y'all felt something on your feet.
He was tickling our feet. Like, he was, like, tickling our feet and pulling our sheets off. And then I guess that's when I woke up. And also, so, like, we're finally like, oh, like, whatever, like, let's just try to go to bed, whatever. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to make him go away, you know. We didn't know that, like, being fearful, like, just, like, gave him more power, basically. Mm-hmm. But also, another thing, I remember my CD player, I had that Incubus CD on, mm-hmm. The Fungus Among Us, and it kept coming on, like, it kept turning on, so we couldn't sleep. Like, really? Me and Kate couldn't sleep.
And I sleep with the TV on, so I don't remember that part. Because I can sleep with, like, noise, TV noise, music. I have no problem sleeping too. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
But probably because I was sleeping. I remember waking up, like, out of a deep sleep to my two girlfriends freaking out because they could feel like something messing with their feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you don't remember anything on the Ouija board?
Not really. No.
Do you remember, like, pulling it out?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Like, if I do remember anything, it's just, like, random. Like, so... That's okay. So, the next day... So, I guess this part is, like, mostly my story.
So, did y'all ever get to sleep?
I just remember I just laid there, like, trying. It's like my body was asleep, but my mind was awake.
Racing.
Yeah. So the next day, it was like you guys got picked up, right? Like, my parents made y'all leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. Like,
because I feel like when we were younger, like, wouldn't we spend the night at your house several nights in a row?
Yes, but the thing was, they, like... My mom, like, wanted me to go to church that day.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah, it was weird because, like, it wouldn't be rare for us to spend, like, 2 nights at Rachel's house in a row. But her parents were, like, adamant, like, you need to go.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, whatever. So they go, and, like, this was on a Sunday. I would not be in a room by myself at all. And I'm like 15, so did I want to go to church with my family? Would I normally want to go to church with my family? No. There's no way I would want to go to church. But since I did not want to stay at home by myself, I was like, I'm going. Like, I'm going to go. Yeah.
Peace out.
So I go to church with my family, and then we come back, and I'm like, you know, I was a teenager. I would want to be in my room by myself, you know, like, away from everyone. So I would be in the living room as long as someone was in there. I'd be in any room my mom or dad was in, my brother, sister, whatever. And then my mom makes me clean my room.
I didn't know that part.
So she really, like, she wanted me to clean my room that day. And I was like, can you come with me? Like, can you just sit there, please? Can you just, like, I'll clean it. Like, I promise I'll clean it. But can you come? And she's like, she doesn't know. She's not going to believe me. And she's like, just clean it. Like, and I'm like, shit, okay. So I go, and, like, I have, like, a mountain of clothes in my closet. And, like, all of a sudden, like, I look down, and I see one of my bathing suit strings pulling away from me. Yeah. And I start freaking out, and I start crying. I go to my mom's room, and I'm like, no, like, I can't clean. And then finally, my sister comes in, and she's like, what is wrong? And I'm like, there's a ghost, dude. Like, mom doesn't believe me. Like, there's a freaking ghost.
But did you tell her? Did you tell your mom?
I don't remember. Like, even, like, if I did, like, she still would have been like, I don't care. Clean your room. Like,
didn't your mom get you holy water?
That was my sister.
Oh, it was your sister.
So yeah. So my sister comes in, and she's like, what? Like, what's wrong? Like, I'm like, no. Like, and I told her everything. Like, I was like, I literally saw a bathing suit string pulling away. And, she's like, okay. So she gets holy water from the Vatican. So
that she had just, like, laying around the house.
Yeah, because she had went on a trip abroad, like, for college, and yeah, I guess she brought back.
She was saving it for a rainy day.
Yeah, I guess. So she gets holy water from the Vatican and, like, starts, like, sprinkling it everywhere in the house, basically, and she throws away my Ouija board, and basically, we haven't experienced anything since.
In the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he basically, he was gone after that. It's kind of crazy, like, how strong that is, right? Like,
the holy water?
Yeah. Like Vatican holy water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
But
I never knew really what happened. I knew there was holy water. And then that was it. That was kind of like all we spoke of it.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, I put holy water in my room.
Yeah.
And then you seemed to be more at ease.
Yeah.
So then I just didn't bring it up again.
Yeah.
But I did not know those details. That's weird.
I probably told you and you just didn't remember.
No, I would remember.
Wait, which
because
details?
I remember
the bathing
the
suit?
feet.
Oh. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if we could get Caitlin to tell her son.
We'll have to get her on now.
Get her on the phone.
So don't use Ouija board.
But yeah, it is interesting to think. I can't talk. Interesting to think about that. I saw like this figure, and that essentially it kind of seemed harmless. The idea probably freaked me out more than the actual like seeing it, and that the Ouija board invited some, like, because we saw it, me and my other friends saw it. They got out the Ouija board and then invited something like evil and dark into the space. I kind of didn't think about that either because I wasn't part of the Ouija part.
Yeah.
So it didn't really occur to me that y'all could have invited like something else in either.
It literally, that
Just
just clicked to me.
now.
Yeah. Because now I know,
Right.
you know, your first sense of him, like, if you didn't get that, that wasn't him. He was probably just, like, passing by, you know?
Yeah. Because I wasn't scared. I don't remember feeling, like, fear. I just remember being, like, suspicious and curious. Like, what? Did I just see someone in your house? You know?
Yeah.
He was an old man wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah. But that's crazy, too. You saw him in real time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our ghost story. Hope you guys like it.
Is it a ghost story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it a spirit?
It's a spirit, but we're just gonna call it ghost story for the sake. So apparently ghosts are like imprints of energy. So you could like see a woman walking on a porch. But, like, and you just see her doing, like, you'll get reports of her doing that every night.
Okay.
So it's just like an imprint of her energy. The spirit, it's like you can interact with them. Like they're...
So what do you think what I saw was? A ghost or a spirit?
Probably a spirit. I think he was a spirit.
And what did you experience?
A very low vibration. Very low vibration.
Like an evil spirit.
Yeah, and you know, I don't like to call it
not
that.
Evil, but just like you said, low vibration.
Yeah, low vibrational. Yeah.
What does that mean?
You know, someone that'll mess with you and like try to like, want to scare you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Weird.
Yeah. Well. So we hope you guys liked our ghost story. So if you guys have like a spooky ghost story of your own, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you like this video, hit that like button. Please like, share, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys take care. Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.